So today I have a special surprise for, well, I guess anyone that's watching this. And this is something I'm pretty excited about. This is my main mode of creativity, I'd say, like at this time. And so I'm going to show my artwork, which is, at this point, it's resin and crystals and metals. Some people call it Orgonite. So in a way it's Orgonite artwork, so it is both functional if you believe that it affects subtle energies and absorbs EMFs and converts them into natural frequencies the way that it is purported to do. I cannot say that I know for a fact that that's what happens with this work, but what I will say is that it gives off a powerful frequency and vibration, and for me, when I'm near it, when I look at it, when I'm around it, I can really feel it. So without further ado, I'm gonna show you guys what I've made within, I guess pretty much within the last year actually. This is, although I've sold a bunch, but this is, let me do a slow pan here to a nice blurry image. All right. So I guess I'll just start down here. This work is, most of these have a combination of plant, like that right there, which is cedar. There's also lichen, some sticks, and metals. This one has, that I see, brass, aluminum, possibly steel. That's 24 karat gold right there in this spiral. And copper, obviously. Turquoise there in the middle. And let's see, I see some amethyst. And maybe that's it. Turquoise and amethyst on this one. I don't see any others. So yeah, here's another one. And these do all have names, but I don't have the names out because to me, the names are just sort of so that people, I don't know, have something to relate. To me, this one definitely has the frequency of love. There's a lot of warmth in this. A lot of warm colors, a lot of warm metals, a lot of rose quartz. And I really love this one. This is one of my favorites. And it's also one of the earlier ones that I did. Those are ferns, in case you're wondering. The flower in the center, the name I can't remember right at this moment, but around it are daisies, prayer beads, shell, and copper in the background. And let's see, and this one, which kind of looks like Tibetan dorje, and I think I named this one pine dorje. More crystals, glitter. If you're wondering, yeah, if you're wondering what the really shiny, like sparkly stuff is, that's typically glitter. I mean, there's also metals that do the same, but I wish I could really show you what this looks like, because to see this on video or in a photograph, it really doesn't give you the feel of being near it, of really seeing it in person. And I guess maybe someone would say that with any kind of work, but it seems I've made artwork before that I've been able to photograph just fine. There's something about this stuff that it's just not easy. It's not easy to photograph or even take a video of, it seems. This one has, I don't know if you guys can see this, but this one has key filings underneath, as well as a plant from South America, which is used in ayahuasca ceremonies. This one's called Moon Goddess, and I'm just gonna, it doesn't work, okay. I can get this to focus. So this one has, there's a lot of silver in that circle there and that circle up top, which is the moon. That is moonstone, the crystals there. A lot of silver in the background, these kind of swirly swirly things, cedar, and copper, kyanite in the pool down at the bottom, in that little pond. This is one of the few I've done that is actually an image of something. I did a handful of those, but not too many. Most of them are they're very mandala-like. I don't think I showed this one yet. This is another one that I like a lot. And a lot of these have precious metals in them. Like I've mentioned, this one's got a fair amount of gold in it. I'm trying to get up close to see if you can really see that. You can kind of see it. There's some gold there that you can tell. So there's those. And then the most recent ones I've made are these up top here. They have no frames. And this one's quite large. To give you a scope here, my hand is resting on it. So this is probably the largest piece I've done. I think it's somewhere around 30 to 36 inches, somewhere around 3 feet. This one I always remember the name of, Medicine. Supposed to be kind of like a medicine wheel. Their feathers, shells. What else is in there? Selenite, pine. And just, to me, a lot of materials and the shape that really remind me of the time I've spent with natives of the US, that is. Here's another, just to give you guys an idea. This one's pretty thick, and I don't know if you can tell, but you can kind of see the layers in this. It looks like this one had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 layers or so, 5 or 6. And these copper rings took forever. These rings here are based on the Egyptian cubit, which when 2 pieces of copper wire are turned clockwise together and they're formed into a circle, which is based on the Egyptian cubit, supposedly it generates a pretty, like a healing field. And that's, you'll see that in all of these most recent ones, actually. The frameless ones have these rings of different sizes in them. And these, I'm trying to remember the guy's name. There's a guy that developed that technology. He's got a website, and his are really fancy. They're like plated with gold or silver. Here's another one of the more recent ones. These things that look like wood chips that's Palo Santo in this one, which is, a lot of people use it for like smudging or clearing a space. And these are smooth. I don't know how easy it is to tell that in the video, but there's no texture here. This metal here that is in this circular area, that is platinum, which is, it's basically like gold except rare. So it's a really valuable material. This is the last one here, which is supposed to have kind of like the Celtic symbol. This 3 circles overlapping, and this one also has platinum in it. So the reason that is all of what I've made within a year, I did actually have more, but some have been sold, and a couple I gave as gifts, but also I just don't have the space, and they're really expensive to make, especially when you're using platinum and gold. But for me, it makes a difference, you know, like if it was just full of plastic beads and little bits of glass and stuff, it's like, sure, I could make a pretty image, but would it really have the same power and energy you get from crystals? And for those of you that don't know, metals they're crystalline in their structure. they also have an intense energy. And if you are someone that can really feel the energy of crystals like I do, I find I'm very sensitive to them, and I can tell, like blindfolded, I can tell one kind of crystal from another because of the effect it has on my body. So I really feel these things, and I put them in pieces specifically to generate frequencies which are harmonizing, which are elevating, which are healing, and yeah, it's something I love doing. So this is my one of my, I guess you could say it's a passion project, but it's more like I feel like it's more like a life path, you know. It's something that I really see myself doing and taking farther. What I want to do, what I plan to do, is I plan to eventually be using these to spaces of meditation and healing. That could be in a house, that could be in a yoga studio, but like really what I envision is just creating like massive temples that are full of this stuff, and to really see the effects of something which generates and holds such a harmonizing energy in a large space. And I do sell these. I don't have an online store right now, but if you were really interested, just send me a message or comment or something and we can work it out. If you are interested in buying something, just to give you an idea of price, like this largest one is, I think this one is priced at like 600. Something like that little one over there would be, I think I had that priced at 100. So depending on, like smaller stuff like this, I could let go for like 150, 150, 150. That one, I think I have that one priced at 320. I don't remember what I have that one priced at. Probably 250. That one's probably 350, because that one's really thick. So the thing about the pricing is that you also have to consider the thickness of the material. Like this one, to give you an idea, is thick, and that's poured, like that pretty almost comes up to the edge of this on the back here. So it's almost that thick. That's a lot of resin. And if you've ever bought resin, you know that it is very expensive. This one, where's the tag on here? I have that one at $275 currently, which I think is a good price considering the crystals and the gold and all the work and time and stuff that went into it. But I'd also like opinions on prices, you know. It would be interesting to hear, because people love giving opinions on YouTube, but if somebody were to just be walking by and my work's on display and I'm sitting there with it and I'm like, hey, what do you think about these prices? It's like people don't, some people would tell you, but most people don't want to say your art's not worth that. which is fine. And just so you guys know, I do the pricing. Some people have trouble pricing art. I do hours put in, and I do material costs. So I pay myself a reasonable wage. I'm trying to remember what, these were all priced higher, and I think I was paying myself $15 an hour, which is pretty reasonable. And then the price of the materials to get the prices. And I think I've actually dropped them down since then. Just because I was trying to sell some work before leaving Ithaca. So that's the other reason I only had this much work, is because I move around a lot and I have a partner, and we put all of our stuff in one car and we move like pretty much every 6 months. So all that and the rest of our stuff has to go into a car. So she's getting really upset at one point because I was making a lot of artwork, and and so I had to stop. I haven't made work since this winter. And it's like since this last winter. It's August now, so I'm in a bit of a lull, but not because I don't want to make it, just because I have too much and I have no place to put it. So I almost forgot. The majority of these are translucent. So, like, take this one for instance. Here it is, this is how it looks. So that white in the background is actually this that you're seeing. So if I pick it up, you can tell that it is see-through. So if it's backlit, for instance, so all of these pieces pretty much have two sides. So this is how it looks if it's backlit. And this is how it looks if it's lit from the front. You know, it's quite different. There's shapes that come out that you just won't even see if there's no light behind it. And yeah, most of them are like that. Like this one's a good example. Look at that. It's like a totally different piece of artwork. So the cool thing about something like this is that, doesn't it just look like a box of treasure? I fucking love this piece. The cool thing about this is that if it's in a window, and I've kept these in windows, and sometimes I keep them in windows just because it's fun to watch them change. This one is done so that the sky is translucent, and then this lower part of the ground is not. So you can only see through what would essentially be the sky in the image, and the ground is solid, which I thought was pretty cool. I patted myself on the back for that idea. But yeah, most of them are like that. So, oh, what I was saying is when they're in a window and there's light on inside, so early in the morning or at night, you get to see the front all lit up. And then during the day when it's really bright outside, if it's brighter outside than it is inside, then you just see like the backlit portion of it, which gives it a whole different feel and a different look. So just a cool little thing about them that I wanted to share. Yep. If you have any questions, or you want to leave comments, or you want to answer my questions, that would be cool. And you guys have a great day, and thanks for watching. All right, see ya.